Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. With over 70% of the population under the age of 30, young people are taking risks to transform their country. Now, we've already shown you the underground music scene of rock and roll and rap, drug addicts, female rally car drivers, and the huge popularity in plastic surgery. But what happens when young people take their social revolution into the newspapers and criticize the government head on? Here's the conclusion of our story: Iran's young rebels. Tehran, 2006. During a visit by President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, student dissidents publicly denounce him and his hardline policies. Many are arrested. Some claim to be tortured in the notorious Evin prison, a place many people in Canada know about, since it was here that the Canadian journalist Zahra Kazemi was tortured and killed. For all the signs of rebellion and the youthful expressions of creativity, Iran is still a very dangerous place to exercise freedom of expression. The government can flex its muscles whenever it pleases. Ali Nikunasab knows this all too well. He was at the protests. As a PhD student and the leader of the Students' Union, he was arrested and beaten twice in the past year.
منو جلو پدر مادرم ضرب و شتم کردن و وضعیت خیلی اسفباری بود. بخاطر این یک مقدار ناراحت کننده تر بود.
Nikunasab says he will not back down. He suggests that he and his fellow dissidents are actually changing Iran from the inside. That there's a lot more to this country than just the hardliners that the world sees.
و ما به صراحت اون سوال‌ها رو مطرح کردیم و وقتی اومد به دانشگاه تهران هو شد و دانشجوها رو مرگ بر دیکتاتور دادن، خیلی از مردم دنیا فهمیدن که مردم ایران همشون مثل احمدی نژاد نیستن.
Still, those who don't agree with the regime fully understand that there's a price to pay. Bloggers who criticize the government are regularly caught or jailed. Reformist newspapers are frequently closed.
I believe there is censorship in Iran, but
Amir Hossein Timouri is a 25-year-old journalist we meet at a new reformist newspaper. Like every reporter there, he's already used to the dangerous cat-and-mouse game between newspapers and government officials. Have you ever worked at a newspaper that's been shut down?
Yeah.
Why was that newspaper shut down?
I don't know really the reasons. There have a lot of conspiracy theories around the shutting down the newspaper. I don't believe. I don't know the real reasons really.
To try to find out the real reasons why freedom of expression is so limited, we obtained a rare interview with one of Iran's most powerful men, Mohammad Javad Larijani.
Because of criticizing of the government, I told you, absolutely no single person will be in jail.
Larijani serves on the powerful Judiciary Committee, and he was in charge of the questionable investigation into the death of the Canadian journalist Zahra Kazemi. He's also known as the father of the internet in Iran, and he's also in charge of its restrictions. I have to tell you that we've been talking to a lot of young people that they seem unhappy. They tell us openly that their real concerns aren't being addressed. They're concerned that they don't have enough freedom of expression. Internet sites are being blocked. How are you dealing, and how is the government dealing with the problems encountered by young people?
We should be comparative. We don't have a freedom in the type of the Western communities. But the limits that we bar the freedom is not people. It is Islamic sentiment. So nobody could offend the Prophet. But people can say everything they want against any people in the power.
I don't believe his statements. I don't believe it. But
there is censorship.
Yeah, there is.
Larijani also denies that there's any censorship on culture, such as music. Young people that we've talked to, they've said things like they're not allowed to rap or perform funk music and dance music in public, and they feel that they have to go underground. It's illegal. Are those things illegal here?
I think music and things like that is very common in Iran.
But not rap, is rap?
Well, any kind of music is very common in Iran. I mean, well, Whether the young people, they like this type of music or not is another one. But if you drive in the streets of Iran, you see a car is passing you, a young boy or girl is playing their player with heavy load. So this is it.
So there's no rule. You're saying there's no red line rules?
Oh, not at all, not at all.
After the interview with Larijani, I'm more baffled than ever by life here in Iran. There are so many restrictions, yet there also seem to be so many freedoms. But everyone, from the officials to the journalists, seems to understand some kind of double talk. And I think about something that Amir Timouri said to me back at his newspaper.
Life in nowadays Iran is full of paradoxes. You know, because you live in a semi-traditional, semi-modern society. It is a society with a lot of paradoxes. For myself, this is like adventure.
Is running from the law really an adventure here for young people? I think about this on my way to Yalan's house for dinner. I first met him and his bandmates from Valgard in their secret underground rock studio. They risked jail time just for playing their kind of music.
Hi guys! Hi!
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Yeah. But here at home, Yulan with his wife and his new baby and his bandmate Yushin explain the tricky balance between daily life and life as a rebel. So this is two sides of life here, the music side and real life.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you do in real life?
Yeah, actually, I work for a company. They import laboratory equipment to Iran, and I work in commercial department of this company.
I asked them about what Larijani told me, that they were actually free in Iran to play their kind of music.
I hope it was like this, but
It's not like that.
this.
Like the music that you guys make and that you're married to. This is not, you couldn't just open your windows and let it out.
No, I cannot do that.
Of course not.
Of course not.
If you applied for a permit to have a concert, what would happen?
We can't.
Of course, we cannot get. Of course, we cannot get the permission for doing such a things. You know, these things. I think these things are taboos here.
They're taboos.
Yeah.
So some government officials tell us that there's no underground. Young people can just do what they want.
It's a big lie.
It's a big lie.
Yes, of course.
Right, that's why we have trouble understanding. On one part, we know it's not allowed. You have to play in a little basement. On the other hand, you invite us to your homes and say we're not afraid. This is okay. People back home are thinking, I don't understand this place. Life in Tehran is so complicated. It's a lifestyle.
You know, you have to live here to know what I'm telling you.
So basically, to be young in Iran, you kind of break the law all the time. A little bit.
Yeah, of course. You know, it's good to break the law sometime.
So you young people, you're rebels. A little.
A little.
You're all little rebels.
Yeah.
Being a young rebel is part of growing up all over the world, but here in Iran, the stakes are a lot higher. I think about the risks that the young people I met here are taking to push their country beyond its 30-year-old political and religious revolution and into a social one. Yulan, Kulamar, Zoreh, Ali, so many others. If only the Iranian government and the rest of the world would turn down the political rhetoric for a while, they might hear these voices of Iran's quiet revolution starting to make some noise.